Assalamu alaikum friends. We meet today. It is 17th of September 2020. I have been quite busy in the past days. We are preparing the final exams for our students where I teach at university. And for this reason, I've been busy reviewing the student exams with my students and preparing even their exam questions. And today, as I was about to finalize my exam papers for my students at the University of Durrës, I saw a very nice article. I call it nice, and I'll explain it why. In the website that the Iranian mojahedens, or the jihadi organization of Maryam Rajavi, in the website Iran Probe, that they run from their paramilitary camp of Manza here in Albania. Me and other journalists working for European and Western medias, from the BBC to Channel 4 to Al Jazeera to New York Times to Der Spiegel, etc., have been under continuous attacks and harassment from the Iranian Mujahideen organization. This organization, which is a kind of cult that is run by a lady who thinks of herself of being some kind of a supernatural woman with supernatural powers, whose name is Maryam Rajavi. This organization, which is run by her, is a totalitarian ex-terrorist organization. And as many of you might know, for the terrorists and people who have not lived in democracy, for them freedom of speech is hated, which must be eliminated. Now, in the past weeks, the Iranian Mujahedeens, as I mentioned, are attacking many Western medias and journalists like me or my colleague, Mr. Jazexhi. If somebody visits the website of the jihadis that we host here in Albania, called National Council of Resistance of Iran, which in legal terms means a foreign terrorist organization which is fighting against a foreign country from Albania. In the website of this organization, you'll see so many articles which attack the freedom of media. One article, which was published on 9th of September by a mujahideen named Mahmoud Hakamian, is with the title "Iran's disinformation against MEC may do more damage than its repression and terrorism." A summary of this article that the Mujahedeens are saying is that we have to stop those journalists who speak against us because they damage our image in the international community. In few words, this Iranian ex-terrorist, Mahmoud Hakamian, is calling on the oppressive regimes like Saudi Arabia or United Arab Emirates and others who back this ex-terrorist organization to do all they can with their Western supporters by giving an end to the freedom of speech and to the journalistic freedom. In another article, which was published again by the jihadi organization of Maryam Rajavi on 6th of September 2020, another Iranian jihadi, his name is Shamsi Saadati, there is an open call for giving an end to the freedom of speech and journalism in the world when it is related to MEC and its illegal activities. The title of the article is "Disinformation about Iran's democratic resistance must finally be rooted out of media." So in few words, Mr. Shamsi Saadati is giving a jihadi fatwa by saying that we must not allow anybody to speak about our cultish terrorist organization because we are the democratic resistance of Iran. These articles, which we see appearing in these mujahideen websites, they have only one tendency. The mujahedens and their commander, jihadi-in-chief, Miss Maryam Rajavi, they are afraid of democracy and freedom of speech. I have challenged Madame Rajavi for an open debate. She has not responded to my challenge, but even their commanders have not. Since coming in contact with this ex-terrorist organization, I have always called these people to come and face us, the journalists of the free world, in an open and democratic debate. In democracy, even with your enemy, you are not supposed to go and be a suicide bomber or kill your opponent, but how we, people of the free world, fight in democracy is through the ballot box, through elections, and through open debate. The Mujahideens, they are afraid for coming out in the open and facing us, the people of the media, and debating with us. They have the same mentality that the Communist Party of China has. As many of you guys might know, in August 2019, I visited Xinjiang. I visited China's concentration camps, where they detain Muslim Uyghurs. They send them into these camps, and they force them to renounce their belief in Islam and their Turkic identity. Since when I came out from Xinjiang, the Communist Party of China has attacked me, has called me a liar, has called me a person with evil intentions, and others. I have responded to our Chinese friends by telling them, listen, you claim that I'm a liar. Good enough. Can we have a debate? Until this very moment, a single Chinese official has not come out to debate me. The same is the situation with MEC. The Mujahideens, they refuse democracy, they refuse open debate, and they only attack and do character assassination of their opponents. Now, there is a fake news website which MEC runs. It's called Iran Probe. Until very recently, MEC kept it as a secret. They were not revealing who were these jihadi soldiers who were posting fake news about different medias and Iran. But thanks to God, recently, because of my pronunciations, articles and videos about MEC, they have suddenly come out with their faces. In this website, Maryam Rajavi and her military command, which is based here in Manza in Albania, apart from, of course, producing fake news about Iran, they are attacking even us, journalists of Albania. We have one article which was published on 2 of September 2020 with the title, Iranian Regime Thugs Against Combatants of Freedom. And in this article, the Mujahideens were attacking me and another Albanian journalist, a friend of mine, Jazexhi Thanasi, who is an OSCE award winner here in Albania for his investigative articles. Jazexhi Thanasi has investigated connections of Albania with Hezbollah, which is the enemy of MEC, connections of Albania with Albanian governments, with terrorist organizations, drug smuggling, weapon smuggling, and other stuff. So, but even though Mr. Thanasi has such a great history of investigative journalism, for the Mujahideens, we are being called thugs of the regime of Iran, and they call themselves combatants of freedom. Now, me and Mr. Thanasi have always challenged MEC. And we are telling to these people, if you are people who fight for freedom, why you don't practice freedom within your organization? If you are people who fight for democracy, why you don't have democracy within your organization? If you claim that you will be the people who will liberate Iran, like Daesh liberated Syria, like Jabhat al-Nusra liberated Syria, like Al-Qaeda burned all the Middle East, we tell these people, why don't you come and face us? Why don't you practice democracy within your organization? And so forth. Anyhow, today I'm going to discuss, or in few words to give a reply to one Mujahideen slave soldier. His name is Gholamali Narimi. I had no idea who was Gholam Ali Narimi, because I even do not properly pronounce the names of these Mujahideens. But when I went back to my archive, I found out that on July the 10th, 2020, I had a Skype discussion with his brother, Mr. Hamid Reza Narimi, and his wife, Miss Sagar. Mr. Hamid Reza approached me like many Iranian families approach me. Because, I mean, as you who follow my videos might know, here in Albania, the Maryam Rajavi jihadi group has a paramilitary camp of around 7,000 soldiers. These soldiers, who, like Mr. Gholam Ali Narimi, are kept in total isolation. They are not allowed to contact their families. They are not allowed to talk to their families. They have been disconnected from their families for the last 20 or 30 years. If the Mujahideen command finds any of these soldiers going out of the camp and contacting their family, they are severely punished. They are accused, as being agents of the Iranian regime, as spies for the Ministry of Information of Iran, and they will have a very difficult life in the future. Moreover, MEC does not allow its soldiers to defect. Exactly like ISIS or Daesh in Syria, or Jabhat al-Nusra in Syria, who was executing and killing its defectors, MEC punishes its defectors. For people who have followed my videos, you probably are aware of the difficult life that many MEC defectors have here in Albania. There are dozens of ex-Mujahideens who have managed to rescue themselves and to escape from the MEC camp and now live in freedom in Tirana, Albania. But MEC goes after them on a daily basis, accuses them of being Iranian agents, and pushes the Albanian government to make their life miserable. These people are not allowed to work in Albania. The Albanian government doesn't give them work permits. And these people have to live on handouts being sent from their families back in Iran. Anyhow, I wanted to reply to this gentleman, Mr. Gholam Ali Narimi, because I think, when was it, today 17, so yesterday, he was given a text. He has a video on YouTube and you can see him reading what he's being given. And Mr. Gholam Ali Narimi has made me one invitation, which I want to deal with it, because even the title of the article is inviting Olsi Jazexhi to align himself with the glories of Albania and not Mullahs of Iran. So I'm going to respond to them. Am I accepting the invitation or not? But now, in the text and the video that Mr. Gholam has made, he has some very severe allegations and lies against me, which I'm going to respond. Among others, Mr. Narimi says, During the past 4 decades, the Iranian regime has tried to harass my family and me. Now, I don't know how Mr. Narimi knows that the Iranian regime or government, there is not a regime in Iran, for Mr. Narimi and those people who hate Iran, and I have visited Iran, there is not a regime, but there is a democracy. There are elections in Iran. So I will not use the insulting term regime. We have regimes in Saudi Arabia, we have regimes in United Arab Emirates where you have no democracy. But in Iran, we have a government, we have democracy. Anyhow, Mr. Narimi, in the text that he reads, he says, the Iranian regime has tried to harass my family and me. Now, the question that I have for Mr. Narimi, how do you know that the Iranian regime is harassing your family? You have not been in Iran since he shows the year of his escape. I think in 1982 he left Iran, so he doesn't have any idea at all of what is going on in Iran. But of course the text is not of Mr. Narimi, but the text was given to him by the military command of Maryam Rajavi. How do I know this? I know this in a number of ways. Number one, we have these defectors of MEC who are in Tirana, and they explain to us how the MEC structure works. And number two, in 2018, when I had a personal history with the family of Someh Mohammedi, which is an Iranian, she was Canadian resident that was taken from by MEC from Toronto when she was just 17 years old. And in 2018, when the Canadian family of Someh Mohammedi was in Tirana, Albania, and trying to meet her, MEC didn't allow her in any way to go out of the camp, but they were forcing her to make statements against her father and mother in the front of the camera, to read them and to condemn her family and to say that my family is notorious agents of the Mullahs. He has come here to abduct me and to make me a sex slave for the Mullahs and so forth. So exactly like the videos that Al-Qaeda did in Libya or ISIS did in Syria, when before killing their hostages, usually we used to see these hostages reading letters and appealing to the West, please stop your bombing of Al-Qaeda because these are good guys. So the same tactics MEC uses with its soldiers. Anyhow, coming back to the accusations of Mr. Narimi. He says, after my escape from prison, Iranian regime arrested and tortured several members of my family. Maybe, I don't know. Even now in Albania, which is 3,500 kilometers away from Iran, the regime tries to impose psychological torture on me through a person called Olsi Jazexhi. So Mr. Narimi has been instructed by the military command of MEC to claim that I'm doing psychological torture on him. How? I don't know who is Mr. Narimi. Yes, I had interviewed his brother and the wife of his brother on, when was it? I just mentioned it. On 10th of July 2020. But Mr. Narimi, we live in a free and democratic world. Your brother has the right to freedom of speech. Your brother wants to talk to you, and it is his right, and it is my right as a journalist to open my channel to any one of your families in Iran, people whom your terrorist commander Maryam Rajavi has declared as agents of Iran, and pushes the Albanian government not to allow these people to come in Albania and meet you, because Maryam Rajavi is horrified by your family members coming and meeting you and taking you back to Iran, taking you back to Canada, taking you back to Germany, taking you back to freedom and democracy. Because she knows very well that if your families come and meet you, if your isolation ends up, You are going to abandon war and terrorism. You are not going to live in the paramilitary camp of Manza, but you are going to live a civilian life. In 2018, when Mustafa Mohammadi and Rubabe Mohammadi, two Canadian citizens, when they came to Tirana, Albania, and they wanted to meet their daughter, and Maryam Rajavi didn't allow Soumaya Mohammadi to get out of the camp, and the Albanian police could not even approach the camp and to ask Soumaya, come out and meet your daddy, Mustafa Mohammadi wrote a reply to the jihadi commander Farid Mahouchi, who after coming to Albania, he has changed his name into Farid Tutunji. Because this Farid Mahouchi Tutunji, who was a tank commander in Iraq, he was parading Soumaya Mohammadi in front of the cameras, and Soumaya was attacking her family and was saying, I'm here because I'll fight, I'll bring democracy to Iran, I'll do this and that. And you know what Mustafa Mohammadi told to Soumaya Mohammadi? He told her, okay, our daughter, you want to fight, you want to change the government of Iran, good enough, do it. But they were telling to Soumaya, can you please come out of the camp? Can you get married? Can you have life? Can you fall in love? Can you find a husband and to do children with him? Can you please go to university? Can you have a civilian life? We're not against you. You want to oppose the government of Iran? Good for you. This is a free world. Go and shout down with, I don't know, Rouhani, whatever. No problem. But can you please live a human life, a civilian life? The answer of Meg was no. No way Soumaya Mohammadi could go out of the camp. The same thing is with you, Mr. Sorry, with your names. What's your name? Hamid Reza Narimi. The same is with you, Mr. Narimi. It is not a psychological torture when I talk to your families. I'm going to talk to your families, to your brothers, mothers, and sisters whenever I have free time and whenever they approach me. Mullahs are not paying me for this. Because believe me, if the mullahs were going to pay me for bringing your family members into my YouTube channel to talk to you, as I was going to interview all of them. You are like 7,000 soldiers. Imagine if I interview 7,000 Iranian families and mullahs pay me. I'll be a billionaire, but they're not paying me, unfortunately, for this. Now, you are saying after that, Iranian intelligence ministry, MOIS, coordinates for Jazexhi to interview our family members under the cover of a journalist, then uploads them on YouTube. This is a pure lie, and you are professional liars, but I'm not saying this for you, I'm saying this for the intelligence services, the police, other medias who follow my YouTube channel, to be on record that you are lying. I'm not coordinating with your Iranian intelligence ministry. You live in a parallel universe from where I live. You are psychopaths. I'm sorry for the term, but from the way how you live in Albania, how you isolate your members, how you fight against democracy and journalism, how you have built a parallel secret service here in Albania. And this thing has been admitted by the Deputy Interior Minister of Albania, that you run a secret service in my country, which is illegal. You spy on your members, you spy on all Iranians who might be here, you spy on us as Albanian journalists, which is illegal. You are psychopaths. You are the people who do this. So you are saying that I coordinate the interviews with the MOIS. This is a lie. Your families contact me. Your families in Iran, they have a society called a Nejad society. It means a society of peace or of freedom, something like this. And these people want to know where you are. And these are not the agents of Iran. These are your families. These are your mothers and brothers and sisters whom your crazy jihadi lunatic commander Maryam Rajavi hates. But I cannot escape from it. It is a rule of Allah, of nature. Every human being is created in a family. Your family is not Maryam Rajavi. Your families are those people whom you were born and grew up in your home country. After this, you say they force our families to insult us, to insult our cause and the Mecca. The Iranian regime did the same to my miserable younger brother and his wife in Iran. I saw the clip on the internet. Mr. Sorry for your name, I forgot your name. Narimi, wake up. But I know it is not you. It is maybe Commander Behzad Safari, or maybe Farid Mahuchi Tutunji, or any other commander of MEC, or maybe Maryam Rajavi, who wrote this nonsense. I don't think that, I mean, you are serious in what you are saying. Your brother and his wife, they were not tortured, they were laughing. You can go and ask Skype, who has my recording with them. I was even chatting with them before doing the video, and they were drinking chai, and they invited me to go to their home in Iran. They were very happy. There was no torture. There was no mullah with a gun and telling them you have to come and talk with Olsi to do psychological torture against the Mecca. No, there is nothing like this. It was a simple family discussion. After that, you continue and read, my brother and his wife, were, okay. So after this you write, our families in Iran are taken hostage and are under immense pressures. Mr. Narimi, wake up. There are no hostage families in Iran. Your families are very free. I've been to Iran. I've met many of your family members. They're very happy people. They have good jobs. They have cars. Of course, they don't, all of them have Mercedeses or, I don't know, Fords, like we have here in Albania. They have Iran Khodro and Iranian brands of the cars, but nobody takes hostages in Iran. Please, wake up. Not you, because you didn't write what you read. I'm appealing to your jihadi commanders, because I know that you are a simple soldier there. And then you write, these forced interviews by the henchmen of the regime are criminal and dirty measures in all humanitarian standards. Idiots. Not you, Mr. Nariman, but Maryam Rajavi, of course. It is actively engaging in the suppression of the Iranian people and our families. Very revolutionary speech. They make them to sell their soul and dignity, not to mention that many more families resist even if the cost would be their lives or spending many years in prison. This is very touching, very impressive. If Rudy Giuliani will read this, it will be a hit. But of course it's stupid, nonsense. The founder of this suppressive regime, Khomeini, issued a religious verdict or fatwa that if anybody helps the Mecca by any means must be executed. And then you show a fatwa. It's very scary, bravo. In Iran, anyone who has been asked to insult the Mecca and he or she refuses, it would be considered as helping the Mecca, and he or she faces punishments. Very scary, Mr. Nariman. I've been to Iran. I haven't seen any bullshit like this, but I know it is not you who wrote it. In 1988, in a few months, the Iranian regime massacred more than 30,000 political prisoners just because they refused to insult Mecca or to cooperate, blah, blah, blah. Mr. Nariman, I know it is not you. I mean, it is Maryam Rajavi. She's a crazy woman. In Albania, we say her time has stopped in 1988. If you talk with Iranians, they will mention how the army of Maryam Rajavi killed and massacred more than 17,000 Iranian citizens. You claim 30,000, but this is an old story. It is 1988. It is nothing that concerns me and you. We live in 2020. We're talking about your family, about your situation as a slave soldier here in Albania. Then, you're right, I had not heard of this guy, Olsi Jazexhi, before, and I didn't know him at all. I was wondering why he's lying about me as a person who has been fighting for freedom of his own people. Oh my God, Mr. Gholamali, you are not fighting. You are a poor slave soldier living in a quarantine here in Manza in Albania, eating every day rice and chicken that Maryam Rajavi gives to you. And probably, if you are lucky enough, if you don't do a hard labor work in a Manza camp, you can be one of these troll farmers, people who goes on Twitter and under the command of your commanders, you keep on attacking Western medias who have any article that does not call for war against Iran. I mean, you are not a freedom fighter, you are a poor prisoner, a slave of this crazy paramilitary organization called MEC that Albania is hosting. And then you ask, I was wondering why he's lying about me. I read this. As a person who has been fighting for freedom, bearing torture and imprisonment. I'm not lying about you, Mr. Nariman. I just spoke to your Narimi, sorry. I just spoke to your brother. I'm sorry, I'm going to talk again to your brother. I'm not saying anything against you. I feel pity for you. You know, I love you. I like you. I like you as a person, and I feel so pity that you read such a trash that Maryam Rajavi and her idiots wrote for you. Why you're right again? Why in complicity with the Mois he is behaving very lowly and shamefully? Well, Mr. Narimi, I'm not working with Mois. I'm not behaving lowly and shamefully. I'm simply talking to your family members. I hope one day I can have a cousin or a brother or a mother of Maryam Rajavi to come to my YouTube channel and to talk with me. And this is not something bad. This is what we call freedom. We're human beings. We are not at war. I'm not at war with Iran. I'm not at war with you. I'm not at war even with Maryam Rajavi. I'm a journalist. I'm trying to do a human-to-human connection. There are people in Iran, dear jihadi friends of Manza, who love you. You have your family members. These people cry for you. There are many of these people who write to me and cry to me and tell me, Olsi, please help us to come to Albania. We want to meet our son, our daughter, our father, our mother, whatever. And I tell them, I'm sorry, I cannot help. It is these shitty Americans with Maryam Rajavi. They give her support with the Israelis, and Saudis probably give them money. And they keep your family members as hostages. What can I do? I cannot save you. As I cannot even save those poor Uyghurs, prisoners who are being kept as slaves inside the detention centers or concentration camps of Xinjiang in China. I have no power. I cannot liberate you. I cannot help your families to come from Iran and meet you. Americans will not allow our government to do that. And the same thing, I cannot do even anything for Muslims of Xinjiang. After visiting the concentration camps of Xinjiang, East Turkestan, I had many Uyghur families who approached me. They were crying, and they were telling to me, Olsi, have you seen my son? My son has been put in a concentration camp since 1 year. And I was telling them, I'm sorry, I cannot help. I have no list, I have no names. There were many people who were writing to me telling me, Olsi, can you please help us, because I have my wife. She was taken by the Chinese authorities and put in concentration camp. And I was telling them, I'm sorry, I cannot help you. The same is the situation with your families back in Iran. There are many of your family members who cry to me. And it is not the ministry of, what do you call this ministry? Sorry, let me find the name. Iranian intelligence ministry who is bringing these people to me. No. Are your families. So you continue. So I asked myself, who is this guy, Olsi Jazexhi? What is his record? Now, this is the part where you try to character assassinate me, because thanks God you cannot kill me here in Albania, for the time being at least. Because if Maryam Rajavi will pay some thugs who will put a car bomb against me, or you will kill me with a gun, whatever, this will be a big scandal for you. And moreover, because so many eyes are on me, and because you cannot kill me by bullets, you try to kill me by your lies. And you're right. So why he's so active in supporting the criminal regime of Tehran? I searched the internet and found a shocking fact that answered all my questions. He admits in his weblog that in 2009 he studied, or better say trained, in the Jamatul Mustafa in the city of Qom in Iran. My God. You discovered me. Mujahedens, you are great. You found my connection. And you say, this is an institute affiliated to the office of Khamenei, the supreme leader of the regime, which is blacklisted by the USA. This institute recruits foreign elements for terrorist activities in their own countries or elsewhere, and to promote the Mullahs' objectives under the name of Islam. Excellent, excellent. I mean, John Bolton would love this. I hope he sees this video. The information about this institute, which Olsi Jazexhi is trained in, is available on the internet. Oh my God, idiots. Maryam Rajavi, listen. I've been in Qom in 2009 for 2 weeks. I attended a short-term school about Shia Islam and the concept of power in Shia Islam. I'm a scholar of Islam. I have studied for 6 years at the International Islamic University, Malaysia. I know Sunni theology. I have also been at Urbana University in the Vatican. I have studied even Catholic and Christian theology. And apart from studying this, I've studied even about other religions, and among others, even about Shiism. I have attended in my life so many universities, summer schools, short schools. I've been even to short schools or summer schools sponsored by NATO. I've done my second master and PhD at the European University Institute. And then I have done my postdoc at York University in Canada. And among others, I've gone even to Al Mustafa University. You know, once somebody came, of course, after you had demonized me in the front of this person, and he told me, you see, Meg has written on the internet that you have been to Al Mustafa University, and this is the university where Iran recruits terrorism and other things. I told to this man who made me this stupid question, I told him, I don't know, I've gone to Al Mustafa University to study what the Shias think. I've gone even to University of Toronto, I told to this guy. And by the way, you studied at University of Toronto and you are doing this and that job. But University of Toronto doesn't prepare people like you for the job that you are doing, right? Universities are universities. So the same thing is about my going to Al Mustafa University. I have gone there and I would even love to go there again. I mean, it was such a nice place. Al Mustafa University, which is based in Qom, is in a way the Vatican of Shia Islam. And if somebody wants to learn what the Shias think, and for me as a Sunni and Albanian that I am, that is the best place in the world. And if the mullahs who watch this video will be very generous to offer me a video to, a scholarship, so Iran to pay me, you know, I'm appealing, my Mujahideen brothers, look, I'm appealing to Iran in front of the camera. Please, Iran, find me a scholarship, because I want to come again to Qom, but not for a long time, because I get crazy. Qom is in the desert. But I'd like to come and to learn more about the Shia Islam, because I don't know very well Shia Islam. I come from a Sunni Hanafi background, and yes, I'd like to go to Al Mustafa again, and this is not a crime. Then Mr. I'm sorry, with your surname, Narimi, continues. The services that Olsi Jazexhi provides to the fascist mullahs, who our blood is in their hand. Is it for free? Of course not. Jazexhi admits on YouTube that he receives money from the Iranian regime. Is he ready to tell us if how much he receives from the mullahs to insult me and Mac. Mr. Narimi, zero. They don't give me. I beg the mullahs, please give me some money to insult Mr. Narimi. They don't give me. Of course, different organizations in Iran, like Al-Mustafa University, when I studied about Shiism, they paid for my ticket and my food when I was in Iran. Even when I'm invited in conferences, in different conferences, one of the last conferences that I attended in Iran was about the proximity of the schools of Islam. And these people paid me the ticket. Yes, they did. They paid even the hotel and the food. It was very nice. But they don't pay me to insult you, unfortunately. I wish they could pay me because I need to do some money, you know. And this is a free life. Now, you continue. Another fact about Olsi Jazexhi ties with the Iranian regime's agents. He hosted a notorious Iranian regime agent, Anne Singleton, in 2017 in Albania. I explained a little about Anne Singleton. She and her husband are widely known as agents of the Iranian Intelligence Ministry. In a report commissioned by the US Pentagon and prepared by the Library of Congress, US Congress names Anne Singleton as Mullahs agent. Since she's from UK, the Member of Parliament in UK have also reported that she is Iranian regime spy. Maryam Rajavi, you are fantastic. I mean, it is such a pity that you became a jihadi terrorist. You should have become a filmmaker for Hollywood. I mean, you have a terrific imagination. Now, Anne Singleton is such a nice lady. I've met her maybe, I don't know, 2 times in my life, or 3 probably. She's a defector. She's like Hassan Herani, like Ehsan Bidi, people who have escaped from your hell and people who want to liberate you. As far as I know, Anne Singleton is not an Iranian agent. If she was to be an Iranian agent, I have a question for you. Why is the British government not jailing them? As a matter of fact, I know that when Anne came to Albania for the conference against terrorism that we made in 2017, where we spoke about the danger that the world was facing at the time from Daesh, ISIS, PKK, the Turkish PKK, Jahbet al-Nusra, and Anne came as an expert and spoke about the danger that MEC brings to Albania. Anne, as a matter of fact, went to the British Embassy before coming to our conference. So if she's an Iranian agent, I keep on wondering why she didn't go to the Iranian embassy, but went to the British Embassy after all. So please check your sources. Then you continue. The tactics for such psychological warfare and demonizing campaign are taught in Jamaat al-Mustafa Institute in Iran, where Olsi Jazexhi admits he's trained there. I love you, Behzad Safari, Mehdi Abrishanchi, and all idiots of MEC. And this Mohammed Mohandesin, who is this idiot who lives in the United States. I haven't been trained for conducting warfare and demonizing campaigns in Jamaat al-Mustafa Institute in Iran. If you have facts and you can prove it, please send those facts to Albanian police and let me go to prison. I mean, you have to fight after the mullahs after all, right? Don't talk bullshit. Okay, a few days ago, bullshit. Okay, so at the end you say, this is the reality of a criminal regime that Olsi Jazexhi advocates for it, like a diehard. Well, in my videos, dear jihadi commanders, I'm not defending the government of Iran, which in my opinion is not a criminal regime, but is a much better regime than the narco-trafficant state that we have here in Albania. The life of peoples in Iran is much better than here. Iranians have better houses, better cars that we have in Albania, and the law there is fantastic. It's so lenient that I would have loved to have here in Albania. But anyhow, at the end you have a proposal for me that I want to respond. So at the end, Mr. Narimi says, so I suggest to people like Olsi Jazexhi, instead of receiving Iranian people's blood money, go and seek a dignified and honorable life. Well, I haven't received any money from the blood of the Iranian people. I have a dignified and honorable life. We run a business here in Albania with my wife, and I also teach at University of Durrës. If it was not for you and your blackmails and pressures that you have done against my government and to security services to destroy my life, I would have had by now a full-time university job at University of Durrës, and I would have taken much more money that I presently take. But I have a counter-proposal for you. While you accuse me that I'm taking the blood money of the people of Iran, I would like to tell to Maryam Rajavi and to your jihadi command, please don't take the blood money of the people of Saudi Arabia and United Arab Emirates and whoever are your international sponsors. You are a group of parasites. You do not earn money in Albania. You do not work. There are some foreign powers who give you money. And most probably, the government that gives you most of the money, they are the Saudis. They take the blood money of the children of Saudi Arabia. There is massive poverty in Saudi Arabia, where this dictator, Mohammed bin Salman, is killing even his uncles and cousins and whatever. So my proposal to you would be the same. Don't take the blood money of the children of Saudi Arabia or United Arab Emirates or Bahrain. But the best thing that you can do is go and seek a dignified and honorable life. Then you continue. Instead of having ties with criminal mullahs, he must tie himself to the history and glory of Albania and its remarkable people. Well, dear mojahedens, I have no ties with criminal mullahs. If you know some criminal mullahs, please let me know who these people are, so that I can connect them with our Prime Minister and our government. We have a very good and well-structured criminal mafia here in Albania. So maybe we can do a cooperation if there are criminal mullahs in Iran. From my visits in Iran, I haven't seen any criminal mullahs. Of course, I see many mullahs, many imams who go in the mosques. They look very nice. They wear these nice big turbans, jubbas, like you have many Muslim scholars throughout the world. And I don't think that these people are criminals. There might be some people who commit crimes, like we have even some priests in the world who do crimes, because we don't live in a perfect world. But I don't know any criminal mullah, so I'd be very happy if you can suggest me some. Now, your message to me at the end is my message to Olsi Jazexhi: tie yourself to Albania's glorious and great history and heroes such as Skanderbeg and Mother Teresa. Instead, be proud of Albania, not criminal mullahs in Iran. Well, my answer to you, my Mujahideen friends, is that I do not want to tie myself to Albania's glorious and great history. I don't believe in nationalism. I'm a historian. I don't believe in Skanderbeg, neither in Mother Teresa, but of course I love mullahs. I love Jalaluddin Rumi, who was a mullah. I love Shamsi Tabrizi, who was a great mullah. I love many mullahs in the history of Iran. As a matter of fact, I am a Hanafi Muslim, and the leader of my religious doctrine in Islam is the great or Imam Azam Abu Hanifa, who was a Persian as well, an Iranian. So he was like those mullahs that you hate. We in Albania have a very long history and connection with the mullahs of Iran. We have Haji Veli Bektash, who created the mystical Shia sect of Bektashism. And I'm very fond to these people, and they are really quite interesting. So, I mean, instead of you telling to me to tie myself to Skanderbeg and Mother Teresa, no, I'm going to refuse your offer. I am much more fond of the mullahs of Iran and of the Persian world, with people like Jalaluddin Rumi, Shamsi Tabrizi, and the prophets of the Bible and of the Quran, which are the prophets of Islam. Now I have a message to you. Number one, for you, Mr. Gholamali Narimi. I don't know if Maryam Rajavi is going to allow you to watch this video. If you by chance will see this response to your video, I tell you I'm ready to give you the Skype address of your brother, and please talk to him. Your brother, his wife, you had even so many other cousins in Iran. They are so eager to contact with you. If you want to contact them and you find a chance to evade the surveillance of the Mujahedin command, please contact me. You can find me on Twitter. So if you type Olsi Jazexhi, you will find me on Twitter. You'll find me on Skype with the ID Olsi Jazexhi. You will find me on vContact with Olsi Jazexhi as well. So if you want to contact your family, because I know that this video that you made was a forced confession on you by Mac. So if you by any means find a way to escape their censorship and supervision of you, I can put you in contact with your family. Number one. Number two is, inshallah, if by chance you can manage to escape from the camp, like many of your other friends have done, I promise to you on this video, and it is not the Ministry of Intelligence of Iran who is doing this, but it is me myself. I'm going to offer you free legal protection, not me, but my wife, because she's a lawyer. So we are going to offer you free legal protection from Mac and Maryam Rajavi. And inshallah, I'll do my best to connect you with other defectors who are here in Albania so that you can have a free life and live in freedom. Number three, this is an offer for you and of course for the Mujahedin Command. First of all, I would like to thank you, for doing this video and attacking me and inviting Olsi Jazexhi to align himself with the glories of Albania, not mullahs. This is a very good thing. You know why? Because even though you attack and insult me and character assassinate me, which I don't give a damn about what you do, it is good because at least we're communicating. You know, I have achieved so many successes with you. Number one, I made this website, Iran Probe, where you're hiding like rats and you're not showing your faces. At least you came with your face, number one. Number two is that even your website of this, what is this bullshit? National Resistance of Iran, what you call it. With your articles, like this one that Mahmoud Hakamian wrote, which says Iran's disinformation against MEC may do more damage than its repression and terrorism. This is also great because it shows that we, the free journalists of the free world, have much more power than the government of Iran over you. Because because Iran supports Palestinians and is enemy of Israel and America, nobody takes them seriously in the West because they're enemies. So when you are enemy, you simply don't communicate with your enemy. But we, the journalists of the free world, we who dare, you're right, we can do more damage than the mullahs who have rockets, as you claim, because we're speaking the truth. My friends, and you Mujahideen jihadis who follow my videos, you have seen what I did to China 1 year ago when I visited Xinjiang. I exposed to the world what China is doing with the Muslims. It is the power of the free speech. Our Prophet Muhammad ﷺ said that the pen is mightier than the sword. So, you know, I'm so happy that we are communicating, even though you are insulting me. I have a plea for you. Please, come and let's have a debate. I can come to your Mecca camp, provided that you don't kill me like Saudis killed Khashoggi. We can have a Skype interview. You can insult me anything. You can say that I'm brother of Ahmadinejad. I have a nuclear weapon. I'm going to bomb you. I'm going to kill Maryam Rajavi. You can do any kind of insults against me. I have no problem. But I have only one request for you. Let's have a debate. Let's talk. So this is my challenge to you. I have asked Madame Rajavi before to have a democratic discussion with me, but I'm sorry, I'm not trying to insult Madame Rajavi, but this is a clinical problem that she has. I think she has some kind of psychological or schizophrenic problems in her mind. She does not accept democracy. So, I hope at least her advisors in the military command of MEC will look seriously at my challenge to you. I want to have an open and democratic debate with you guys. I'm not afraid of you. You can say anything about me. You can make me, I don't know, you can make me the greatest mullah of Iran. You can do anything, of Albania, sorry, no problem. You can say that the grand mullahs are paying me, no problem. I have only one request. Can we have a debate, please? This is what democracy is about. We Albanians, at least us, I'm Tosk, I'm from southern Albania, we're descendants of the ancient Greeks. And we are the people who developed democracy and dialogue. I want to have a dialogue with you. You guys, you do only monologue because you are fascists. You cannot accept that a journalist, a free man like me, to challenge you. I want you to teach democracy. You claim that you want to bring democracy and freedom of speech in Iran, which the Iranian society is very open. When I've gone to Iran, I make debates with Iranian scholars on many things. As a Sunni, for example, I defend Hazreti Abu Bakr and Omar and Osman and Ali, and then they show me their Shia point of view. But in Iran you can do these things because it is the Iranian intellectuals and intelligentsia, they are really great. And I'd like to appeal to you, my jihadi friends, please, let's have a debate. Become democratic. We're not going to kill each other, but please, can we talk? And my final appeal to you is, to everybody who sees this video from your jihadi camp, please renounce violence, renounce terrorism, go for peace. Do not listen to Maryam Rajavi. Maryam Rajavi is an old and a desperate lady. She needs to keep you under home arrest. She needs to scare you with the mullahs and say, oh, there is a car bomb, they're going to kill us. Because if she doesn't do this kind of things, then your MEC terrorist organization is going to break apart. But for you, mujahedin commanders who see this video, because I don't think that the soldiers are going to be allowed to see this, I appeal to you. It is your chance to democratize MEC. You can be the Gorbachevs of MEC. You should force Maryam Rajavi to accept democracy and freedom of speech. I haven't killed you. I'm not a man of the regime in Iran. I'm a journalist. So can you please accept me to debate with me? Are you afraid of me? Anyhow, Mr. Gholamali Narimi, thank you very much for the message that you read it because you didn't write it. But you directed to me. Thank you for your offer to abandon the mullahs and to align myself with Skanderbeg. As I told you, I'm going to go to the mullahs because I love the mind of the great Iranian mullahs, from Jalaluddin Rumi to Shamsi Tabrizi to Haji Bektash Veli and others. Your mullahs are fantastic. I'm sorry about this. I hope you're not going to accuse me of being a terrorist because I love the fine history of Iranian mullahs and the wonder of Islam that they created. Salam alaikum. May peace of Allah be with you. Please denounce terrorism, denounce war, stop lies, and embrace democracy and freedom of speech. Bye bye.